Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, you're going to meet a true restaurateur power couple. They own all of your favorite places in Frisco. We'll tell you their journey next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show. Well, when I got to Dallas in 1992, the news director picked me up at the airport and he says, 2 things you need to know about Dallas-Fort Worth, eating and shopping. And it's been, 30 plus years since that happened. And that's very true. Eating and shopping is what we love to do here. It's an experience. It's not just going out to get a burger. It's, are you having an experience? And I can't think of a better couple to have in the studio than Derek and Sheree Simms. They're with the Simms Hospitality Group. Thanks for coming on the show.
No, happy to be here.
Absolutely.
Happy to be here.
Well, I want a little background. So you guys weren't born and raised here. Got here as quick as you could.
There you go. That's well said. This is true.
And when you came to Frisco, what year is this?
2013.
We came from California, begrudgingly, because I think a lot of people from California are coming here, and Texans want to keep their Texas the way it is, right?
Right.
But we came with open minds, and we really fell in love with Dallas. It's our favorite. We never move anywhere else. This is where we're going to live for the rest of our lives. We love it.
And you noticed something when you got to Frisco, a lack of really nice restaurants.
Yeah, which is not to say that's the way it is now, because there's so many great spots in Frisco, but something that we really craved as like a younger couple with young kids was something different, not just your run-of-the-mill, Chili's.
Yeah, I remember moving here, and we were where do we go to dinner, and we kept going. There was only 2 spots, I think. It was like La Hacienda, maybe, and there was one other spot, but it was really hard. If I was mostly chains, like Chili's and those kind of things. Right. And then we made the wild hair of saying, maybe we should start a wine bar. And we kind of joked around at first. We had a little bit of money in our pockets at the time, and sure enough, we just saw something on the side of the road. And we pulled over. It said for lease, and it just looked like the right spot. And somebody called us to it and said, "Let's go make a wine bar right there."
Wow! And
the really funny story is, and I don't want to derail the show here, but the funny story is, we knocked on the door, happened to have the landlord was there, and we said, "We want to do a wine bar here. Can we do that?" And he said, "Well, actually, this is not set up for food service, but my place right next door, which is the original post office of Frisco, is a post office 100 years ago." He said it is available, and it does have a grease trap, and you can do a wine bar there. But the guy is selling it. Why don't you go there and talk to him? So 10 minutes later, we were in negotiations and bought that restaurant, and we turned it into a wine bar, and we did it for a whopping $70,000. We bought the whole thing for $70,000.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then tell what happened next time after that. Well, we sold it 2 years later.
Well, no, so one of the things that we did was like, how are we going to make this wine bar like this hot spot, and what's going to make it different? And so thinking back to when we were in California, there was this little yogurt shop that had fire pits. And so we said, we've got to put fire pits in there. That's what brings people in. So at first we started with, I think, 4 fire pits. And before you know it, people are fighting over these fire pits.
Clamoring over fire pits.
So then we said, we got to get more fire pits. So before you know it, we have 16 fire pits in the back of this patio, and it just becomes this big backyard party in Frisco where it's like live music, and it's like your fire pit friends are now you're going to be hanging out with them next weekend. And it was crazy. We didn't even have open table at the time. We were just answering phone calls like in nonstop. It was like this, like hotcakes.
It was our first. I think maybe it was a little lucky, but we brought the fireplace. People told us that you can't have a patio in Texas. That doesn't work in Texas, and sure enough, they were wrong.
Not year round.
Not year round, but we made it work, and we were busy all the time. And then 2 years later, we had sold the restaurant for $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah,
70,000 into $1 million.
Yes, we sold it 2 years later for $1 million, unbelievably.
Congratulations.
So-
well, you two, I think, have the Midas touch because I know a lot of restaurateurs, and they say, people think they're going to get rich in the restaurant business. The margins are thin, and you really have to know what you're doing. We're going to go through all of the concepts, and I guarantee you my audience is going to say, oh my God, that one and that one. So you have all of the fine dining in Frisco. We're going to start with the Glen, and we've got a little B-roll. Let's go ahead and put this on the screen so you can kind of narrate this. You have I want to say Cirque du Soleil. What are we looking at here?
Yeah. So when we launched this restaurant, Jerry Jones, it's at the Star.
Mm-hmm.
Jerry Jones and his team asked us to really bring something different, really that's going to set the stage for something really unique and different. And we went back to we were just railing concepts, and we were talking about an old concept called the Old San Francisco Steakhouse.
I remember those. Yeah.
And it had a woman that would swing dangerously.
Yes.
I think we met this woman in the
We
in
met
the
this woman.
airport, yeah.
No joke. We met this woman.
Wow.
She would
She
swing.
happened to be sitting next to us on a flight.
Yeah, and that's where we got it from, I think. She said, I would go there, I'd get on the swing, and this is the 70s. She would swing back and forth for 5 minutes until she kicked a bell on the ceiling. And it was quite amazing. We found it on YouTube, so you can look it up, the Old San Francisco Steakhouse.
I remember that. Yeah, when I came to Dallas, they had that.
We tried to do the swing, but that didn't work.
We didn't have high enough
we didn't have high enough
ceilings.
ceilings, but an aerial show did work. And with a lot of push to get our contractor to weld a 10,000-pound beam to the ceiling and hide it, with really no understanding why we're doing this. They're like, why are we doing this? I don't understand. It's born that you have dinner and a show here in Frisco.
I think that's
Yeah,
amazing.
it's really fun.
Yeah, it's
So-
really fun.
All right, next concept, Monarch Stag. Let's put some the website up, and as we scroll down the website, Sheree, tell us about the vibe at Monarch Stag.
So part of all of our concepts, we always kind of want like a feminine touch and then a masculine touch. So we have the Glen next door, and then you have the Monarch Stag right next door, and that's really is such a fun place. So our hope is that you maybe start with drinks at the Stag and then move over to the Glen, or vice versa, end your night over at the Stag with a cigar with your husband or friends in the cigar lounge. So what's really interesting about that concept is, and the reason we did it was purely Derek loves to smoke cigars, but I hate to smell like smoke. Like if I washed my hair that day, you're not catching me near a cigar. And so I said, well, we have to separate the two. We can't have just one cigar lounge. And so we did that. We have a really beautiful lounge where we have live music 4 nights a week, and then you have the Stag Lounge, which is where our cigar area is. Wow. And what's nice about that is you could still hear the music, be a part of what's happening in the lounge area. You still get full service, but you're not necessarily, in the main area.
Awesome. All right, J Theodore is the next concept. We're going to scroll down the website. Tell us about J Theodore.
Well, J Theodore is actually named after Derek's father, John Theodore. And that is kind of our upscale neighborhood restaurant where you can get together with girlfriends, or you could do like a quick date night. And that concept is really definitely close to our hearts.
Yeah, it's lunch and dinner place. So we get both those markets. You get lunch and dinner, which is really hard to open lunch and dinner. Not a lot of places get that 2 segments, It's open for a very long time today, very busy. We're known for our brunch as well. We have a very, very popular brunch that has a DJ on it. So it's a kind of a fun party atmosphere, but still good food and all those things. J Theodore is also known for its bakery, so it has a really, really top-notch cake that is not matched anywhere else. I think J Theodore Bakery
We're known for our bakery
we're known
in
for
Frisco,
our baked goods there. So.
And then to add to that, we have probably one of the best patios in Frisco. Like it is just romantic. It's beautiful. It's really a great patio. And it's great for afternoons, especially when the weather is great. It's good for brunch, but nighttime it really shines. It's really such a beautiful spot.
And really, what matters is the people. We've cultivated a good set of people. You need people. We have 340 employees that work across all 5 brands, which is a lot, and they're like family to us. And we work side by side with them. That's the one thing that we do as different as owners. They all know us by first name, and we help them. They help us.
We're in the trenches, as
we
we
work
say.
together. We work together, and hospitality is one of those things that it's hard because I don't think everybody gets hospitality. It's something you have to really understand.
Yes.
Because people are spending their hard-earned money to go to a restaurant. And even during the last couple of years, it's been so hard with inflation that we've seen a slowdown of our business. But at the same time, when they do can spend money, they want the service. They want to feel like they're not wasting their money.
Yes.
And that's the hard part. And so we understand that and we deliver that.
Yeah.
I feel like we understand that.
Well, congratulations, Kevin. And Dallas-Fort Worth is a tough market. I mean, we're used to high-end restaurants, and so people have a very sophisticated palate here.
Yeah.
So let's go on to Rare Books. And as we scroll down the website, tell us about this concept.
So Rare Books is kind of this little thing that came to life.
Yeah, we had a space when we got J Theodore. We had a space that was used for like overflow and parties and private party. And I remember we got in an argument with the then event planner. She's like, we use this space. I'm like, we're gonna turn it to a bar.
Well, they were sitting in there, and we were like, we got to make this area make money. Like, it was just dead.
Right.
5 nights a week.
She used it once in a while. She's like, well, I'll use it for private events. I'm like, yeah, once a week.
Yeah.
You know, so we argued about this, and we went with our gut and turned it into a speakeasy, which is a hidden room. It's actually behind a bookshelf. You have to find the code, and you got to talk to the librarian, right?
Yeah,
And,
so for those watching, you would find the code on Instagram. So we post that every single week on Mondays. It's like always a classic novel. And you pick up the phone booth and you call in and you just give the book of the
and if
week.
you don't have the right book, she will hang up on you.
Really?
Yep, she won't let you in.
Yeah, and then this bookcase just slides away and then the door's open.
You have to find it. We don't advertise where it is. You have to find where it is. So there's no address anywhere online. You just got to find where it is.
This
It's
is
pretty
brilliant.
fun.
Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
811, which I believe was your first concept, right?
It was
Lisa?
our
Let's
first
go ahead and put
concept.
that up on the screen. And as we scroll down this is the wine bar. Is it in the same location?
Yeah.
Well, it's in Frisco.
Same location. We bought it back.
Yeah, so we sold that restaurant and then we bought it back. It's in Frisco. It's in downtown Frisco, which is going through a huge revamp. The roads are not great right now, but we're working through it, and luckily the community is still coming out to support.
This one's fun because it's an outdoor party with live music every night. So we have a live music band. We built a stage. If you want to have, what do you say, honey? You say it's the best deal in town for a date?
Yeah, so in my opinion, if you're looking for a bargain of a date, like this is by far your best bargain. You have pizza that you can share. It's like,
Yes.
$20-$30 for a pizza, depending on what you choose. And then you share a bottle of wine. And you have this romantic fireside dinner with music playing. And it's like, you really can't.
Yeah,
you
it's
can't beat
it's
it.
unmatched. And we tried to create these things again, and we realized that some things are not recreatable. So 811 is an uncreatable. We'll make other ones at some point in life, but the 811 concept and brand with the fireside dining and music is, I don't know.
Bar none.
Bar none.
Yeah.
It is bar none, yeah.
And when you tell people about your concepts, are they shocked? Oh my God, that's also my favorite place.
Yeah, it's always fun because that's, kind of what our magic is. We're always in the restaurants, right? And so somebody will stop me or stop Derek, and all of a sudden we're like, oh yeah, well, we own J Theodore, or we own Rare Books, and we own Stag, we own The Glen, we own 811. They're like looking at each other, and they're like, no way, these are all of our favorite restaurants.
Yes, they say that's the biggest compliment we get, is when we're there, we talk to people and we shake their hand and we tell them what we enjoy that they're there for our business, and we're enjoyed the hospitality that we get to give them, and they're like, we love all your places.
Wow.
It's the biggest compliment. It really is. It keeps us going every
Yeah.
day. It keeps going because this is a very hard business. You're right.
Yes.
Very low margins. You get better at it, of course, but you can really get yourself in trouble quick, and that keeps us going. It really
Yeah.
does.
I want to give you both a chance to brag about your team, because any great leadership is only as good as their team. So talk about the dream team you assembled.
We have a huge team, and they're really amazing.
Yeah, we have two parts of our team now. The big thing we did in 2024 last year was to build a corporate team, right?
Yep.
And that corporate team was probably what's going to get us to really manage all these concepts and continue managing more concepts with them in place. You know, and so we have 17 on the corporate side now that just work for all the brands, and then we have 307 employees that work operations at each individual restaurant.
Yeah, we had a Christmas party. You do Christmas parties in February because that's your slow season, right? We had a Christmas party, and it was really fun to see all of our staff there, and they all were kind of meeting each other for the first time because
Yep.
they're all at separate concepts, but they
Right.
all hear about each other. And it's definitely kind of a proud moment where you just see them all like commingling and enjoying themselves, and you're like, wow, we built such a great team.
Yeah, we've had people meet each other, get married. We had
babies.
We had babies. We've had babies together. We've had we have a family. It's more than that. We have this bartender is dating this singer, and they're now having a baby.
Wow.
That is a true story. And we've had we had a busser runner woman that met one of our servers, and they're getting married. They just got married. They're having a baby and got married in the restaurant last week. So this is.
Anytime I have a couple on, one of my favorite questions is giving them a chance to brag on each other. So we'll start with you, Sheree. What is Derek's brilliance? And then I'm going to ask Derek the same question.
The gift of entertaining. This guy, he can work a room like the best of them. He definitely is.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're good at it. I always like admire him because it's not my strong point, but Derek is so good at just working a room and greeting everybody. And
all right, Derek, same question. What's Sheree's brilliance?
Well, besides the obvious of being so lovely, she's also just so smart and so on it. I consider her my boss. I do.
That's most wives.
Yeah, and I just do what she says. But besides being beautiful and smart, she can really just run so much, juggle so much between the restaurants and the family and the staff and all the people. How do you juggle that? I don't think most men can do that, and she can do it with ease. It's phenomenal.
Wow. Well, it's because we make a good team. That's for sure.
I don't think we do
it's
it.
The only way
if it's just one of us, we couldn't do it. You'd break. It's too much work. You'd fall apart. It takes the two, and that's what I think is really what a lot of people admire is the two of us, the power couple. Though I guess you can call it that, is the power couple, because the two of us work together so hard on it. And I don't think if it was just one of us, it would work. We would just fail.
That's beautiful.
Agreed.
I would be remiss if we didn't talk about the whiskey table. So this is a podcast that you guys have been doing out of one of your concepts, and you just recently moved it over here. So let's put some video up, and I want you to talk about what is the whiskey table.
Look at that guy.
Yeah, this has been a really fun experiment that is actually started out very lightheartedly. We wanted to create a personality that behind what we do and be able to bring people to our restaurants and our whiskey. We have a very, very elaborate whiskey collection, and we have access to whiskey. For example, we did a show last week with McAllen, and we have $75,000 worth of whiskey we're tasting and reviewing.
Wow. Who
Who has access to $75,000 worth of whiskey?
Right.
And so the podcasting format is the perfect format for this, because if you think about it, you can't really talk about liquor online. It just doesn't really make sense.
Right.
Podcasting, you really dive into it, and there's a huge market of people that love whiskey. I mean, I am one of them.
Sure.
I'm one of them. But there are so many people that like whiskey, and we get to talk about this and review it, and we have it's just gone gangbusters.
Wow.
We're up to, in 3 weeks, we have thousands and thousands of followers in 3 weeks.
That's amazing.
So give us 3 months.
Well,
Or 3 years.
I think it's also hitting on like so many guys are into whiskey and they want to talk about it or they want to learn about it. And it's fun because that whole whiskey table is like really just 3 guys with very different personalities and different views. And it's really a fun.
I think we might have found a really neat niche. And so we're going to keep doing it. We enjoy it.
That's
and we have
awesome.
some really fun plans ahead.
Well, you hinted that you're going to do a show about cigars, so I can't wait to hear
We're doing
about
show
that
about
one.
cigars. Yeah, really fun show. So you got to just stay tuned for that one. And then each week we review whiskey, cigars. We're
tequila, right?
We're going remote. We're going into distilleries, and we're going to be doing remote access. So we're going to have a lot of great content. And if you listen to the show, you're going to learn a lot about whiskey. If you're a novice, you're going to learn a lot. If you're not a novice, you're going to enjoy just the journey we go on. So embark with us.
We've got about 2 minutes left, so I want to give you both a chance to give final thoughts. So we'll start with you, Sheree.
Oh, I think Derek should start. He's much better at this than me.
A lot of people want to get in the restaurant business, and I do think that I would at first discourage that. But if you truly have a passion for hospitality and you really think that you enjoy entertaining and you enjoy working harder than everybody else around the room because you're literally going to work 90 hours a week, then you really get a lot out of it. So that's more like I say than you get in what you put out. You get out what you put in.
Yes.
Right? And so I think that's to go with any business, whether it be you're in a tech business or you're in the news business or whatever you're in, you're going to get out what you put in. And so I think our success has been that we just put so much into it and we don't give up and just go for it. And I think that's been really fun. And doing it with my wife has been a dream come true, and we just keep doing it, and we're going to keep doing it until we're dead.
All right.
So enjoy it.
Hopefully not that long.
Sheree, final thoughts.
Yeah, I think, like Derek said, anybody that comes to us and says, I want to get into the restaurant industry, I always say, well, make sure you have, one, a really strong relationship with whoever that partner might be, whether it's a friend or mom or dad, whoever. At the end of the day, I agree. Encourage it, but also proceed cautiously, because it's, one, it's a very fun industry, but it's also, it can really just take over a lot of your life if you're not
I get it.
taking
Yeah.
out.
Get it.
But
Well,
we enjoy it.
Thank you both. You have really blessed me with your time and attention, and your passion for excellence. So thank
Well,
you.
thanks for
Thank you both.
having
Thank
us.
you,
We
Jeff.
appreciate
We
your
love it.
time, and the studios are beautiful.
Well, you're too
Yeah.
kind. You're
Yeah.
too kind. And of course, you can make a reservation at any of these concepts on Open
Open table, yeah.
Open table, yeah.
So, guys, thanks again.
Thank
Love
you.
it. Thank you, Jeff.
We'll see you next time.